Hello, my kings and queens and the non-binary in between. Just the TGTBs here. This is the only video I'm going to be uploading today because, well, yeah. I will be watching the other videos. I do that in my free time. Sometimes I just want to watch it in my free time and enjoy it without having to pause and, explain a lot of things. It's just it's like a good mix every now and again. And also, I'm going to be away for a few days, so I thought I might as well do this one. Of course, this one, therapy, of course, because, well, that's my job, basically. And I have just watched a very, very fun comic dub of Sandersides. Basically, it's called the Unsympathetic Morality AU. I loved it. I still need to know how it ends, but they haven't posted a new part yet, and I really want more, please. Even though they haven't posted a new part in over a year, so yes. I'm just gonna let my mind imagine that. Anyway, I know I just went on a rant about Sandersides, but Sandersides is really like what originally. Yes, I originally was getting into psychology for a bit, but that was to figure out what was wrong with myself. But this was just like a very fun way, and it was a musical, so of course. Anyway, let's get into this.
Do appointments today, or
I don't think so.
right? I'm your receptionist. Why am I asking you?
I mean, yeah, but it's okay.
No.
I think Monty canceled everything.
Yeah, I think he did. I think it's just us.
Yeah, but I guess we need to have a conversation anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, my conversation's still being delayed because you.
Yeah, let's talk about things. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Let's do this.
Do I sit on the couch or do we both sit on the couch?
I don't care. I'm not gonna be sitting in my chair. I'm gonna be standing.
Well, there was a funny thing that happened a few days ago. Like, I was at a friend's place and my sister was there too, and they had a couch that was a lot like one of those couches you have at you know, at a therapy place with like where you put your head up. And like since there was a couch right beside it, me and Lou just pretended to just be therapist and patient. Of course, I was the therapist. And then I'm like, okay, we were just mucking around, and I said, okay, this person doesn't say, we need to get her into an insane asylum. She refused to move, so I picked her up bridal style, and everyone was just looking at me weird. It was hilarious.
I'll sit on the couch. I don't actually ever sit on this couch.
Yeah, well, I mean, you did once.
Did I?
Yeah, when we had that conversation with Moon.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
that was fun.
Okay. So where do we start here?
How have you been feeling?
Depressed?
Yeah.
I mean,
You?
reasonable.
Well, I don't feel like I'm depressed. Because, I miss Solar a lot. And I'm trying to move past it, but at the same time it feels wrong to do that.
It's so fresh.
Yeah, like, I like handling everything perfectly, you know?
You can't
That's just
handle
not
everything
possible.
perfectly. Really, you can't. And I noticed you have extreme OCD because I love watching Unpacking. Before they even uploaded it, I used to watch it on Animators versus Games, but they stopped doing it, and I was so sad because they would have just like fun conversations, and I was just like watching them unpack. I don't know why, it was just soothing for me. So, and Earth essentially has a lot of OCD in that. I'm guessing it could be at the fact that she's trying to control everything around her because she feels like she doesn't have any control of her life, so she's trying to take control of everything that she can.
Right?
It's hard to be perfect, and it's impossible to be perfect. And Well, what I'm trying to say is, it hurts a lot, but I know Solar would be upset if we were upset, you know?
Yeah, he wouldn't want us to linger on it for a long time, but it's hard to not linger
It really
on
is hard because, when I'm upset, I usually talk to Solar, and he's not here.
it. Not to mention, it's also a situation that we couldn't even attempt to stop because it was too late.
Yeah, there was nothing we could have done. If we were kept in the loop about it, we wouldn't we wouldn't have known what to do, and
To be honest, I think if you even failed to do so, that would have done worse. So I'm kind of iffy on that bit.
No,
honestly, I just feel bad for how I was coping with everything. I mean, I, I've, I don't know. I feel bad for saying what I did to Sun. I didn't mean for it to come across mean, but after talking with
you
Sun,
didn't come across mean.
No.
You were grieving.
I know, but if I think back on it, that would have hurt his feelings. But I brought it up to him, and he said it didn't bother him. He was just upset that I was upset.
Well, Son's also not one to talk about his problems.
I know, but he's been more open with me recently. We've been open together about how we feel. So I take his word seriously when he says it didn't affect him. He was just upset because we were all grieving.
Right.
But that's besides the point. I want to be more open with you and Sun and Moon. It just feels hard for me sometimes because, you know, I want to make sure everybody's feeling okay after what's happened with Solar.
Right.
But
In order for that, you need to have balance. Again, I've mentioned many times that there has to be a balance between selflessness and selfishness. If you give too much, you'll have nothing to give. But if you take too much, I'm going to quote Kung Fu Panda 3 real quick, Master Uruguay. The more you take, the less you have. But also, the more you give, the less you can take. So you need to have a balance in between. So then you have a balance. So then you're able to keep providing, but also to stay healthy at the same time.
I also want to feel bad about it too.
In terms of my feelings with everything as of recent,
Can we talk
you
about
saw
Eclipse?
how I was when Sun told us. I couldn't even react.
Yeah.
And I talked to Sun and Moon about that, and Moon said that that's not an odd reaction per se,
Yeah.
not being able to process trauma.
It's not odd.
It's not odd.
It's more common than most people think.
It's just one of those things where I know how I've reacted to everything else. Like when I saw Blood Moon maul you, I immediately got angry and tried to kill him. I guess when KC died, I didn't really feel anything either because I was very indifferent about his existence.
Mm-hmm.
When I learned Monty got hurt, I wasn't happy. I was angry as well. Just any time someone has died or been hurt, I've always had just an immediate, strong, most times violent reaction, which isn't healthy.
You just have this buildup of emotion that you want an outlet for, and it just ends up being aggressive and violent. But I think in this case, you had no one to blame in that moment because Rune wasn't there.
I even spoke to Ruin, and I yelled at him, but that was it. For most of that conversation with him, I had my composure. And even when I spoke to Eclipse recently and kind of, I guess, spoke out our grievances, but
And there is only one. I'm alive.
You know what? There's a rule. I never skip this ad. You're watching it because it's hilarious. And I'm not going to speak during it either.
Just kidding. I'm dead inside, emotionally, but that's neither here nor there. There's still only one cure for hungry, thirsty, and that's Oak. With its full strength and full taste, it's full on. Oh, Oak.
Cool,
Too
hungry, thirsty, dead.
but not really because it's Eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get angry at all.
Are you concerned about this? Like how you've suddenly done this flip?
Kinda. It just feels odd to just go from my always loud, violent, angry reactions to just kinda.
Do you know what? I gotta make a Jago reference because I can. Yes, I see, the islands 4 episode special as their own season. So yes, I see it as season 14. Season 16 to me, I'm just gonna say it right out the bat. Zayn was amazing in there. People would usually say that he had zero emotion and blame the actor for that, but that was because he turned off his emotion so then he wouldn't be a liability or do anything irrational. When I can't spoil anything, but watch season 15 and you'll find out why. And then essentially he has to turn back on his emotions so then he can help a little girl who ran away from home. That just reminds me of that a lot.
Do you think what had happened with you losing your temper with Eclipse and everything that happened with Gemini might be a reason why?
Probably.
Yeah,
I mean,
but also
I lost my temper that one time, used my powers, and now I killed somebody and I might end up dead.
Mm-hmm.
making up for your sins.
So I don't know if it's my brain just shutting down these violent reactions to prevent that from happening. Worse.
You know what's really bad for me right now? Well, not really bad. It's a thing. With all this stuff happening with solar, I want to keep helping people, but at the same time, I just feel like there's a wall in my brain that's like stopping me from delving deep into things because it just is like, I'm just sad.
Completely reasonable. Again, you need to have that balance. And it's perfectly normal. In order for you to help someone, you need to be at a healthy level too. It's a thing I've learned a while back, like back when I was like kindergarten or something. We had a thing in Australia, like called the bucket. If you do something to cheer someone else, you're pouring some of your bucket into theirs to make theirs full, but then you are losing some of this liquid in your bucket. And when your bucket is fully empty, you can't help anymore. So it's something that we've learned when we were very little, is that we have a balance. And well, I wasn't really taught this, but when I had my buddy, they told me about it, and I'm like, I wish I was taught this. They only recently brought this bucket system in, and it's amazing, and I'm so happy for it.
Right? I feel that too.
So I want to be helpful to everybody, including you. But before everything with solar, we did have a conversation, and he did say my feelings matter too, and I should feel what I'm feeling and not feel bad about it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying.
Your feelings always mattered.
I
Your
know,
feelings are valid.
To me, it didn't. And everything that happened when Sun told us, I put myself first. I didn't go to you. I didn't go to Sun. I didn't comfort anybody. And it feels like I should have.
You have You needed your bucket to be full. You need to have your bucket filled in order for you to give. Yes, you are very strong emotionally, but every time you give, you're losing the liquid inside your bucket, and someone else needs to help you fill it. It's a give and take.
But,
You didn't have to do anything.
yeah, I know.
And I guess something I'm kind of either now or have passively realized is you and me are very opposite in our reactions to stuff.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
But even with this recent thing, it's even more prominent, I guess.
Can we bring up
You
how
said that
Eclipse
you
has
feel
basically
like you should
helped Earth, please?
be helping people, and that you always thought your emotions or your feelings about things didn't matter. I think subconsciously I might have been making my emotions too in people's face.
Again, it's
I
good
might have been just
for
forcing
that.
my own
You can't mask.
feelings on people.
That's a good observation. I never even thought of it that way.
And that's not a good thing to do. My opinion isn't more important than anybody else's.
I think what we both have been doing isn't really helpful, so we're in the same boat there. But I guess the good thing is that we're working on it, and
I guess we could, in a way, take a page out of each other's books.
yeah. I mean,
Not the entire book, for God's sake, because
Oh,
we just
God,
be
no.
the exact flip-flop of each
well,
other.
yeah, we can take a few pages out, yeah. I think Solar would be happy that we're both working on ourselves, because I know he was worried about us.
Yeah.
And
I think, personally, I need to be more, forgive my wordplay, down to earth.
I get it. You've had your head in the clouds.
I
just
like how you said, forgive my wordplay.
Mind think first and act with whatever I'm thinking.
You usually act on impulse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you do the opposite, and you just kind of, you think first before you act.
I think too much. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I think too much, and I overthink, and I don't act. I wanted to talk to Solar about calling him my brother, and I overthought it so much I never got to ask him, and I'm regretting that every day.
I know we called him a cousin.
But I wanted to call him my brother. I don't know if you
Yeah.
did either.
I thought of him as a brother since I first met him. I was the first one to meet him.
I thought of him as my cool big brother, and
The cool big brother, got
He
it.
was a brother to me from when I first met him, because he was
yeah, he's always been.
everything I wanted Eclipse to be.
I just felt like I could rely on him more. Not to say I can't rely on Sun and Moon. They're great. I can talk to Sun about anything, and Moon will hear out any problem. But
Yeah.
it's just
They
different
are
when it comes
meddlers.
from
They will meddle. And I kind of understand that a lot more now since of watching, I think, The Loud House. I think it was the episode 2. It's like the meddlers and all that. Like how he had a bully and then they realized the bully was a girl and then they told him, hey, the girl likes you and all that stuff, and then he got beaten up. I loved that episode. That was funny.
Solar, you know?
I mean, he listened to me when I talked about what was happening in the beginning.
Yeah. And I don't know if he's coming back. If he does, I'm worried he won't remember. And that's just like he's not even there anymore. So I don't want to think about it, but I'm trying to come to terms with if it does happen, everything that's happened is out of my control. It's out of your control.
Which is why he tried to control so much.
So, you know.
I said it to Sun and Moon, and I said it when Sun told us. what happened to Solar. But why does everything just keep happening to us?
If we are gonna go upon like the fourth wall breaking that they were doing in that Uno episode, of course I watched it. It was hilarious and amazing. And now I feel bad for some of the voice actors, but I also realize I understand too, because man, it does take a toll on your sleep. Apparently, it's for the drama. It's for the drama. And I also recently learned that Murder Drones is an Australian show. That was random, but I'm so happy.
Like, we don't get more than 3 days of fresh air. Maybe a week if we're lucky. And then we're right back to just something being thrown in our face, or we have to deal with a new problem, or, and this is not me blaming Sun or Moon at all, us getting pulled into another problem. Things just
Again,
keep happening
writer's
around us.
problem.
And I feel like I'm just losing grips on what I can control.
I mean, I've noticed that things just kind of happen ever since I got here. It was one of the first things I pointed out to Sun and Moon, and one of the first things I learned here was to just kind of go along with it.
But I don't feel like we should just have to go along with it. Like, all of us animatronics in this Pizzaplex just keep getting thing after thing after thing dropped on us. And it's honestly, it's good that we're animatronics.
Also, I want to mention something I've been thinking about ever since I've watched that Uno episode. How are they able to memorize this script so quickly? Because, like, multiple scripts, because they have to put on the headset and they can't look at the lines. So, how? I'm being serious.
Because if we were human, we probably would have died of heart attacks at this point.
Yeah.
And I can't fathom what Gregory goes through, being one of the only humans that interacts with us.
I mean, honestly, from what I've just learned to not get too much in my own head about it and just go with the flow. I do ask questions every now and then, but if I ask too much, it's gonna hurt my brain.
Right. I'm not asking for everything to just stop. But I almost just wish things would slow down.
Stop with the pacing, please. I would not literally. I remember, like before October in the first year, for the my fellow original fans will understand this. There used to be like sometimes a week in between lore episodes. And like you'd be like, okay, I can't wait for the new one to come out, and you'd be angry every time a new lore episode didn't come out that day. I wouldn't mind if we went back to that, because one, it would give people like me a rest. It would also give the actors a bit of a rest, and also it will keep the shows going for longer and gain a lot more of the fan base through games. Just saying, and it would also give me time to actually binge watch the show again, because I'm not having to basically watch a new one every second day or every day, basically.
I just feel like I've lost control. And I don't know if you feel the same way.
Well, I never thought I had control in this area anyway, so I've always just taken control with what I say and how I present myself.
Again.
So, trying to let go of that, I'm trying to find something else for me to feel in control over, and I was gonna talk about that with Solar, and I guess I'll figure it out with Sun. Or with Moon.
You have me too.
Or
I
technically
know, but
Eclipse.
you said it yourself. I mean, you're kind of going up against maybe dying, and that's so much bigger than anything I could help with.
Okay. Here's where I'm going to intervene. No matter what it is on the catastrophe scale, all amounts of trauma have the same amount of seriousness to the person. For example, if you went through extreme traumatic events as a child, you may seem like form pity towards someone who recently broke up with someone that they cared about, and but they have a loving and caring family. Essentially, if put yourself in the other person's shoes, and basically all trauma is at the same level of seriousness. It just depends on the person. So no trauma is as serious or less serious than others. Just saying.
And I don't want to weigh you down with my problems of not feeling like I'm in control of anything.
I'm not in control either. Maybe we should try and get control together.
Yeah. But back to everything about solar.
Yeah.
I don't want to move on really quickly. And I'm still going to be sad about it for a long time.
I mean,
And
no one expects you
I
to.
respect if you do too. But I also want to respect that Solar wouldn't want us to be moping or sad or not do anything because we think of him. I don't think we should just move on right off the bat, but
I don't either.
I think it's okay if we do eventually, and we shouldn't hold it against ourselves.
I think in time, we need to just accept a reality where what we have is it. The things that are going to happen aren't always out of our control, but
Couldn't you technically talk to Libra about that? Isn't she the most powerful celestial with the ability to control fate? Something that I have just because of all of this, I can't help but feel like she loves a good soap opera. I can't help but feel that because one Toy Chica basically cheating on Freddy and getting a divorce and all that kind of stuff after they've been together for a while and they have basically a godchild. And then like a bunch of other stuff like Roxanne suddenly forgetting about a bunch of stuff and returning to her old self. Not to mention a bunch of trauma, bad guy trauma, eclipse, trauma. I can't help but think that Lieber loves a good soap opera and is just up there, just eating popcorn as all of this happens. But also, I also think that she might have some empathy towards them, and I want to see her and Luna interact. And also, I have like another thing I wanted to make. It was called like a baby Luna AU, and I will gladly get back to that if you guys want it.
we can't just stop them or prevent them. Solar might not come back. And I don't think that means we need to take revenge on Ruin. Does he need to have a recompense? Yes. And he's serving that out in a form of another by not being able to move or speak, or no, speak.
And watching anime in his head apparently, but that's
I
honestly
don't
heaven.
think that's enough recompense for what he did. Do I want him to die? A part of me, yeah. Is that what should happen? No. I'm just confused.
I don't really care for Ruin. I think they're gross. I think they're disgusting. I think they're a terrible person, and I hate them more than anything in the world. I don't care what happens to them. I don't want to hear about them ever again. For now, they just cease to exist. To me.
Fair enough.
So I don't care what happens to them. I'm just asking to stay out of it, because just hearing about them makes me angry. And maybe I'll get over it when I start thinking more about solar and coping. But right now, I don't even want to think about them.
Right.
For now, this was good progress for both of us, even though we're not even supposed to be having a therapy session, but we did anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to go get something like a smoothie?
I want just like a really big stack of ice cream.
Let's go get milkshakes.
Or even better, combination of the two of ice cream and milkshakes. A thick shake.
An ice cream then.
Please.
Yeah, that sounds really good right now. Or gelato. Ooh, gelato's pretty good
Eh.
too.
I've never had gelato.
Oh, it's so good. Let's have some
It's
today then.
basically frozen lemonade. In a way. That's what it tastes like. So, review. Let's give this an 8 out of 10. Not the best, not the worst. Got to analyze some things. Yay, great. Earth could have mentioned the fact that she didn't feel any toxic attentions, but anyway, that's for a different day. So, yeah. Anyway, I wanted to basically, I don't know what, but I kind of really, really, really want I don't know why, I just want like a Reddit page of me or something, like an r/Tikiki Theater brand, just have a bunch of memes based on me. That just sounds weird. But if someone could do that, I'd love that. Anyway, please like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye, my friends.